welcome to our presentation discussing the access to Gold Coast and Brisbane paediatric respite services. Presenting today will be James Lovett, Arron Wright and Luisa Greico. Let's take a look at Jimmy. He is an 11-year-old boy and is currently in grade 6 at Mitchelton Special School. Jimmy was diagnosed with spastic quadriplegic cerebral palsy at age 4. He is a GMFCS level of 4 and has greater spasticity in his lower limbs. Jimmy requires a powered wheelchair but can walk with assistance over short distances. His main functional limitation is the need for assistance with transfers, toileting and showering, which his parents currently help with. Otherwise, Jimmy is a normally functioning 11-year-old boy that loves to watch sport and car racing. Jimmy already has 2 services in play, including his private physio twice a week to try and slow the progression of his spasticity and maximise his function, along with a specialised teacher aide to help with transfers, toileting and short walks at school. Jimmy's parents are significantly burdened at the home and in the community, therefore it would be of benefit to the family to have a break from caring for Jimmy. The ICF is used to classify health and health conditions. It can be broken down into functional and contextual factors which can help us further identify Jimmy's needs. We have seen from the case that Jimmy has spastic CP, which has impaired his body function in terms of reduced muscle ROM and strength. This has affected Jimmy's ability to walk and perform transfers independently. This has in turn affected his ability to participate in many school and community-based activities that normal 11-year-old boys do. Looking at environmental factors, Jimmy's house has various modifications for powered wheelchair access, and Mitchelton Special School caters for children in wheelchairs with ramps and lifts. For personal factors, Jimmy's family has to provide significant assistance and support at home with many of Jim's ADLs.
Respite care is relief for caregivers. This could be a temporary relief, it could be a longer relief, say for a family vacation. But respite care is a wonderful resource. It could be as easy as calling a friend to ask to sit in for a couple of hours with your loved one while you go shopping or to a movie or out to dinner. It could be a longer stretch of time, say you're going on vacation and you need to find a place where your loved one will really flourish just as happily as she does with you. And sometimes, because they're with people their own age or with other types of caregivers, it works out really well. But the most important thing is it is a relief for caregivers so that they will provide better care for their aging loved one.
There are many types of respite care, but to highlight a few commonly used services for paediatrics, we'll start with in-home care. This is when a carer comes to take over the parent's role for a specific period of time. There are also centre-based care programs, including school, healthcare facility, and church or volunteer organised day activities and camps. Respite centres provide daily or weekly programs as part of a community-based service, and residential respite provide accommodation for the disabled child and family members in some locations. Another common service is emergency respite for when a carer becomes sick or circumstances change so that the carer is suddenly absent.
So what are the benefits of paediatric respite care? Well, it has been shown to reduce the social burden of families and allow parents to spend quality time together. Turgate made an interesting distinction between in-home and out-of-home respite care. In-home is advantageous as the child is in a familiar environment and all equipment is present. In contrast, parents suggest out-of-home respite care encourages socialism and learning. Welsh in 2013 investigated the subjective benefits of short-term respite care from the perspective of patients and their parents. Parents reported long-term developmental benefits in the form of better sociability, friendships, independence and self-esteem. Major funding for disability services are currently from the Disability Service Act of 2006. To obtain disability support cover, Jimmy must be eligible and meet the 7 specific criteria outlining details about himself, his disability and support needs. It is important to note that some non-for-profit and private respite care services may ask for financial contributions. Newly revised legislation has announced a new funding system for people with disabilities known as the National Disability Insurance Scheme. The NDIS also provides support for patients, families and their carers. Originally, the NDIS did not cover respite services, but has since recognised the importance of respite care. The NDIS now covers 3 levels of respite care, from 1 to 2 weeks up to a month per year in some situations. The NDIS will also make accessing disability services easier than before, and those on current support plans with disability services will be carried over to the NDIS upon rollout in Brisbane. It is important to note that individual respite services may have their own eligibility requirements as well. Upon deciding a respite service, in most cases, a company advisor will do an in-home assessment to further determine Jimmy's eligibility. In other cases, Jimmy's family may meet with a disability service advisor to identify Jimmy's goals and ascertain the desired level of service. There are many respite services for children throughout Gold Coast and Brisbane, which offer a range of in-home, community and residential services. I would like to give some insight into the few main services that could be available for Jimmy and his family. Firstly, Montrose is a highly accredited service with more than 80 years of experience that emphasises the importance of developing relationship and skills that children need for school and beyond. CARS provides flexible in-home or community respite services which highlight outings to social events within the community. FSG Australia offers individualised programs and group activities based upon the child and family goals. And In-Focus Disability Service provide in-home and out-of-home overnight respite care.
The Endeavour Foundation is one of those services which have additional criteria in accordance with the NDIS rollout in July 2018. Individuals must be under 65 years of age, be a permanent resident, and have a long-standing disability which requires assistance or assistive equipment. Individualised support plans are strongly supported, and school holiday programs with regular community outings are also provided. Ability Care, on the other hand, offers vacation care, including school holiday camps, and a respite centre in Logan for day, overnight and emergency respite needs. Lastly, the CP Alliance would provide Jimmy's family with the most comprehensive respite service for children with CP, however it is not currently based in Queensland. So what are some of the barriers that Jimmy's family may face to accessing respite services? Well, a study by Damanai et al. In 2004 looked at the determinants of respite care use in children with cerebral palsy. They found that out of the 468 interviewed caregivers, 90% of them believe respite care is beneficial. However, 60% of them reported significant barriers, including the demand for respite care outweighs the current availability, difficulty in organising a service, lack of individualised support plans offered, information about respite services is few and far between, and others experience concerns over the quality of care. In Jimmy's case, there may be other barriers which could restrict access to respite services, such as not being eligible for disability services, insufficient funding or financial hardship of his parents, and of course Jimmy's dislike towards respite care. So after considering Jimmy's needs, the available Gold Coast and Brisbane services available, and the potential barriers to access, which would be most appropriate? Well, let's take a look at Montrose and Endeavour Foundation, as these services offer greater individuality, school-based programs and financial support. Both services are available within the Brisbane district. Both offer day and overnight respite, which provide individualised support plans specific to the child's needs and goals. They also run specialised camps within the school holiday period. Looking directly at the barriers to access, Montrose and Endeavour provide extensive information about their service options and a reputable and safe service that Jimmy's family can trust. Another benefit is that these services are soon to be covered by the NDIS, further easing financial circumstances. Overall, these two services would be ideal for Jimmy's situation. So in summary, the ICF is a valuable tool that can be used to identify the individual's functional limitations and their support needs. Any individual seeking disability support must first be eligible and then registered to the disability services and soon to be the NDIS. Remember that some respite care organisations may have additional criteria and should be considered when deciding upon a service. Families should be aware of the barriers to accessing respite care, and when identifying which service is best for the family, it could be suggested that a service which offers individual support plans, multiple types of respite care, and is governmentally funded and credible is ideal. Thank you for listening.